Welcome back, everyone. It is Sunday, January 12th in the NBA. As always, 3 picks on the way. If you are new, my name is Austin. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, we need to begin with a recap of yesterday, and it was not a good day for us. We went 0-2. It's been a little bit of a cold streak, and we'll talk about that. Our two losers, John Morant's over in points plus rebounds. He saved his absolute worst for us. I think he shot, 5 for 19. Terrible. He ended with 17 points plus rebounds. Terry Rozier, not mad about that read. He had 7 at halftime. He ended with 11. I want to say missed his final shot or two to cover for us. Either way, an 0-2 day. I put our January record on the screen, 12-16, down about 5.2 units. Not our best month, obviously, in December. If you were tracking the picks, we were dominant. We ended December winning money on 14 of the final 16 days. Obviously, January has not been as kind to us. January, in my opinion, one of the hardest months to bet the NBA as we go into the All-Star break. That's no excuse, though. We need to be more dialed in, and we need to absolutely dominate. And what did I do? I came back home to my parents' house where the hot streak started in December, and we're back home, less editing, and it's going to yield some good results, hopefully. And if it does, hey, we'll keep rolling with it. But either way, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Technically, we made our money back, though, in the NFL. Went 2-0 in the NFL, so I didn't recap that video in Sunday's video for the NFL. But again, Sunday's NFL Best Bets video is already live. I'll put it down below in the pinned comment and the description. Go check it out. We got 3 picks for Sunday's NFL playoff games, as well as a touchdown parlay that I want to say is around plus 550 odds. So go check it out. I'll link that video down below. And at the end of the video, go check that video out, what we like for Sunday's NFL playoff games. My last note, as I've talked about a few times, our boy Logan, he's getting married today. So because I'll be traveling back home, our NBA video tomorrow will be a little bit later. So when you're like, depending on how our results go today, you might be like, Austin, quit on the NBA. That's not going to be the case. My video just won't be live until, I don't know, maybe noon, 1 p.m. tomorrow. So it will be live. Obviously, we won't take the day off, but it will be live a little bit later on tomorrow. But you guys came in for some NBA picks, and we'll begin with our first one. It is an identical matchup to a winner we had a couple days ago. That is LaMelo Ball over 32.5 points plus rebounds, minus 120 on DraftKings. I'd play this at 33.5. I like the overs in both categories. Obviously, we're going to need a lot of points from LaMelo Ball, but I like the upside in rebounds as well. Kind of similar to John Morant's bet yesterday. I mean, he did a good job grabbing some boards. He just didn't score any points for us. He couldn't make a shot. Hopefully, that is not the case for LaMelo Ball. He's had a few days off as a couple of his games have been postponed. Now, we'll go to our trusty site, Props Madness, and we'll talk about LaMelo Ball here. He's obviously been pretty dang good this season. You look at his stats on the year, averaging 35.3 points and rebounds over this line in 16 of 24 games. That included a game against the Suns where he had 42 points and rebounds, 32 points on 28 shots, 10 rebounds on 15 chances. In that game, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at his quarter 1 points, I want to say LaMelo did not, they are offering that. I don't even think LaMelo scored in the first quarter in that game. He was absolutely tanking. But again, he ended up coming through. Now, if we go back to this, we've seen obviously over in 16 to 24. How does he score his points? Majority in the pick and roll. 34% as the ball handler, where the Suns ranked 24th. Again, some in transition and on free throws. Again, they're pretty good to spot up defense, but against guys with the ball in their hands, they get torched. 48% of his points on above the break threes, where the Suns rank 21st. So a pretty bottom 10 defense. Now, if you just look at games in which LaMelo has played just 30 minutes, you'd be like, oh, he's actually crushing this line. He's had some games where he got injured had some blowouts in there. But again, games he plays 30 or more minutes, looking at over in 15 of 20 games. In the most recent game, 35 minutes. That was just his second game back from injury. He got the minutes, and I expect this game to be pretty tight against the Phoenix Suns, a team that, knock on wood, don't blow out a lot of teams. And when he's played 30 or more minutes against teams that rank in the bottom 15 of pick and roll defense, looking at him over in 10 of 13 games. The games he didn't against the Rockets, pretty tough defense here. Shot 9 for 18. Against the Pistons, missed by a couple, went 10 for 23 here. And then against the Raptors, again, he shot 7 of 20 here. And those guys aren't nearly as good of a matchup, really, as this one is against the Suns. So, again, I think this is a smash spot for LaMelo. I'm not going to overthink it. We backed him the last time we faced him. We just took his over in points there. I think the over in points and rebounds is a pretty solid look. I'll go with that as my first pick of the day. My second pick is going to be a guy that, I'll be honest, has sucked the last 2 games. Let's hope he bounces back. And that is going to be our boy, Mikal Bridges, over 16.5 points. Kind of spoiled our next pick. We'll talk about that in a second. But I really like Bridges today, over 16.5 points. I think there's some value on this one. I'd still play it at 17.5. His lines can be a little bit sharp. But again, I'm not too worried about that. I think he comes through and cashes all the lines today and scores 20 or more points. Now, if you look at Bridges, and we'll talk with the elephant in the room, he sucked the last 2 games. You can see that here. 10 points against the Toronto Raptors on 4 of 18 shooting. And then, man, you couldn't have got a worse game. He scored 0 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. 0 for 9, 0 for 7 from a 3. Played 32 minutes, but they benched him. They were like, you know what? You're playing pretty trash. But we've seen Mikal Bridges, he leads the NBA in minutes. He's normally playing, 40 minutes in some of these games. And I expect those minutes to come back, especially in a good matchup. You look at how he scores his points. A lot spot up shooting. The Bucks rank 15th there, 22% in transition, where they rank 22nd. We've seen the Bucks. They're not a great pick and roll defense. We see that here. But we look at when these two teams matched up head to head. He had 17 points on 18 field goal attempts. But something even bigger to note, Jalen Brunson in that head to head matchup, only 15 points, 14 shots. They did a good job of getting the ball out of his hands because last year Brunson torched them. He scored, he's scoring 36, 45, 38, 43. He's torching this team. So again, I feel like they made some defensive changes, and we've seen Bridges play pretty well. I mean, if you were to just look at since December 1st, when he has had more games with the team, averaging 20 per game, over in 14 of 20, isolated to games at home, over in 13 of 18 this season. He's been really good, and that's at 17.5. Technically 14 of 18, had a couple games in here with 17. I just think they're going to see this the first time these two teams played. Cat had a big game. We saw Brunson not have a big game. I think they're going to continue to try to take away Brunson, and maybe we see them switch up with Giannis on Karl Anthony Towns. Wouldn't shock me at all. I think Bridges, though, they don't have a great secondary defender, in my opinion. So I think we should see Bridges have some opportunities here. I really like his over 16.5 points. I think it's a great look. I think he should bounce back today. Let's be honest. He should play better. I think he has a good game. Final play of the day, and then we'll get out of here. Paolo Banchero over 9.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 135 on DraftKings. Laying a little juice here. I don't mind this at 10.5. I'd try if it was 10.5 to try to get it around minus 120 or plus 100, which is what it is right now. I think this line's still a little bit low for Banchero, who obviously did return back from injury in his most recent game. And we'll kind of look at that. Now, Banchero in this most recent game when he returned back, he had 10 rebounds and assists on the dot. I want to say he had like 7 or 8 in the first quarter. Didn't get a lot going in later in the game. You look at his chances here. We see, 7 rebounds on 9 chances and 3 assists on 8 potential assists. Now, in that game, and I'll kind of pull up his points wise, he had a big game scoring the basketball, 34 points, 21 field goal attempts, 10 free throw attempts, and in 27 minutes. So the minutes were nice to see 27 minutes. Hopefully we can see around that or more today. But again, he had a big day scoring the basketball. Now today he's going to face the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, the 76ers, tricky defense, but they don't have a guy that can defend him. Now, I don't remember exactly who was defending Banchero in that most recent game, maybe Giannis, but again, they're playing one-on-one. I don't think this is a Sixers team that plays him one-on-one. I think we see some double teams coming his way, and that's perfect for us. We want those potential assists. If I'm the Sixers and I'm Nick Nurse, I'm like, you know what? Anyone but Banchero. The rest of the guys are all inconsistent. We'll live with one of those guys beating us. Again, I think it's a great spot for him. If you look at I was actually considering Trey Murphy's under for fun. I think it's a decent look, but if you look at the Sixers depth chart, we look at potentially the return of Joel Embiid. Right now, I believe he's questionable. Let's see, injuries. He's currently questionable, so we'll see if he plays. But again, you look at the depth chart of this Sixers team. Let's assume maybe Joel Embiid comes back. If Joel Embiid returns, we're talking about who's he going to guard? Probably Caleb Martin on defense. So Caleb Martin, not a guy that really shoots a lot. And I think in general, he's going to guard Caleb Martin. So either it's Joel Embiid, who's going to take Goga Badatse outside the paint and get him into foul trouble, or it's Gershon Yabusele starting, who's another three-point shooter, taking their center out of the picture, and maybe the Magic go a little bit smaller than normal. I think we're going to just see him weak side for all the rebounds. And we've seen, in this matchup before last year, head-to-head, we saw Banchero over in 3 of 3. He had 13, 14, and 22. You look at his chances, though. This game, 17 rebound chances, 7 potential assists, 24 total. Sure, he played 38 minutes. I get it. This game, around 32 minutes, could be what around he sees today. 12 rebounds chances, 9 potential assists. Then this game, 22 rebound chances, 10 potential assists. Keep in mind, all these games we're seeing with Franz. Oh, this game's not with Franz, but again, the other games, a lot of Franz Wagner action in there and other guys. Today, that is not the case. They don't have Franz Wagner. They don't have a lot of playmakers. So, again, I think we should see probably this line closer to 11.5 if I had to make it. I think it's a little bit soft given, he's returning back from injury. Only had 10 in the most recent game. But, again, he scored 34 points. He wasn't really passing a ton I wouldn't be shocked if the Sixers are throwing double teams at him left and right. So again, I really like all three of these picks. See them down below at the bottom of the screen. LaMelo Ball over 32.5 points plus rebounds. Mikal Bridges over 16.5 points. And Paolo Banchero over on today. Really, our January hasn't been terrible. Besides the last few days, we've had like 3 straight losing days, including a reverse sweep. So really prior to that, we were about break even on the month, but it's been a bad couple, last probably week or so. So either way, let's bounce back. Let's have a 3-0 day. Again, a reminder, my video tomorrow for the NBA will be a little bit delayed. So definitely wait for that. That won't be live until later on, early afternoon is my guess. I don't really know. We're about 3 hours from home from where Logan's wedding is taking place. But either way, it's going to be a great day celebrating Logan. We're going to have a wonderful day in the association and in the NFL. So go check out that video. I encourage you to check it out. We've been dialed in the NFL. Let's have another good day. I'll see you guys back again in the next one later on Monday, probably early afternoon. See you guys then. Peace. Also, tonight there will be a Monday Night Football video drop. So you'll have that. Check that out. It should drop at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Either way, have a great day. Good luck on all our picks. See you in the next one. Peace.